Greetings, bleepers. How the devil are you? Right then, the Quest Q30 versus the Minelab XTerra Pro. Which is the better metal detector? In a little bit, what we'll do is we'll do some we'll look at build quality, and we'll look at the menus, and we'll look at what we can go in and change, and we'll do like a quick depth test so we can maybe come to some sort of conclusion. But before we start, I need to give you a little bit of context as to why this test is going on. Now, a couple of years ago, the Quest Q30 came out, and it was this channel that shined a big old light on that brand and took the X5, the X10, the Q30 into some sort of prominence. Something that I'm quite proud of. And you're very welcome, Quest. I think that the videos where I use those machines are hundreds of thousands of views now. And a lot of people went out and bought a lot of machines on my recommendation. It was great for everybody. Anyway, I made a prediction, didn't I, in the video which was called This Metal Detector is Dangerous. And in that video, I pointed out that it was a danger to other brands in that particular range and price range around it, because you got a lot of metal detector for not much money. And my point was, it was dangerous to other companies because now they've got to change their whole criteria. They're going to have to pull their prices down and offer more. And I made a prediction that would happen, and lo and behold, we now have the Minelab XTerra Pro, which is a lot of metal detector for, well, not much money. I say not much money, of course it's a lot of money, but I mean it like relatively to higher end metal detectors, the quality you get and what you're getting from a metal detector. So what we're seeing happening now is all of those Q30 users who still comment on my videos all the time saying how great the Q30 is for the price, etc. You know, just going back, that machine is one of my favorite machines. I still say it's brilliant. I love it to pieces. And just as an aside here, I have to point this out every now and again. If I don't like a machine, I don't review it. You won't hear me talk about it. Okay, so there has been instances where I've had a machine, used a machine, not keen on that at all, so I just won't do a video on it. Right, so those Q30 users, it was an introduction to metal detecting. They got the Q30, the X10 or the X5, but you know, mostly the Q30. They either fell in love with metal detecting or they did not. They stuck with it or they didn't, or somewhere in between the two. And now they're at the point of, okay, then I want to go for something which is perhaps a little bit more potent, but again, I don't want to spend too much money. So what is the difference between the XTerra Pro, the Minelab, and the Q30? If the difference is substantial between the two and they're exactly the same price, you can't get the Q30 anymore. By the way, you can't get it anymore, so keep yours. Okay, people want them, keep it as a backup if you're going to go ahead and get something else, or just stick with it because it's a great machine. Right, so people are saying I want to look at Minelab. You know, I've heard that they're a great brand, they're the top of the top. I want to kind of get on that evolutionary process instead. So I started with the Q30 on your recommendation, Chris. How much better is the XTerra Pro to the Q30, or is it better? Same price? Are they exactly the same machine? And that's what we're going to test now. There you go. I've given you some context to the whole thing. Let's crack on, shall we? So let's just quickly look at the machines as they are. Sorry, they're so battered. When I use machines and test machines, I use and test them. Right, so we've got extendable shafts on both. I believe that the XTerra's is carbon fibre down there, but not up here. Square shafts, both are square. I do like square shafts, they're great. V12 coil on the XTerra Pro, and I think that's the Raptor. I'm not entirely sure. I did start swapping them around on the Quest brand. Both have interchangeable coils within the brand. Plastic handle, plastic, galvanized rubber, which I loved. Colours, doesn't really matter, it's a metal detector. Nice orange, I love that orange. Nice military green, I love that military green. Buttons, nice, easy, accessible on the XTerra Pro. Buttons, nice, easy and accessible on the Q30. Weight wise, I haven't tested it, but I feel that the Quest Q30 is the lighter machine. Both submersible to 5 meters, I believe. I'd say all in all, that the XTerra is of a better build quality, but it's really, really close. since I did my review, I think there's been an update for the Q30. I couldn't get it to work. I think it's like I don't know. I just couldn't get it to work on my iOS device, so I'm still using the old software. So we have park mode, we have field mode, we have wet sand, we have salt water, we have gold 1 and gold 2. We have accept reject, we can notch stuff out if need be. We've got our sensitivity. It's all what you know. We've got a pointer here, and that's our menu button. That's our tones, you know. But we got our XTerra Pro. It's all very similar. So we've got our park mode 1 and 2, we've got field 1 and 2, we've got our beach 1 and 2. We can go through the kilohertz, accept reject, all metal, pointer, and then we've got our sensitivity. It's all very similar. You know how a metal detector works. All very, very similar. Slight changes, but on the whole, very similar. You've got more tonal option on the on this as well. So we've got 1, 2, 5, and all tones. And I think on the Quest you've got, I think just 3 and 4. I want to say, not 100% sure, because we're not here for that. We're not here to review. So on the whole, they're very similar. Build quality is great on both. How they work and how they function, very, very similar. Now, because the XTerra's Minelab, you get a lot of options coil-wise. You get a ton of options. There's a lot you can do there and get into and mess around with. Quest have their kind of in-brands few coils that they offer. There's not as much in the way of options as, of course, with Minelab. Now, the XTerra Pro, you have 4 frequencies. So you've got 5, 10, 15, and then 8 kilohertz on beach, which is locked in and you can't use on the other settings. And on the Q30, you've got a locked in frequency, which is 14 kilohertz, I believe, which is a great place to be locked in. They're 14.5, around about there, which is fantastic. Halfpenny on the floor there. XTerra Pro. It's nice and quick. A lot of depth. God, a lot of depth. Right, great. Lump of dirty old iron. Put you over there. Okay, good. That's how I want you to react. Let's put the lump of dirty old iron nearer to the coin. Let's put the dirty old iron nearer to the coin. You can see the nearer that it gets to that bit of iron, the harder that signal is to process. Let's put it right on top of it, right next to it. Turning 360, moving around the target. Okay, it's a big old bit of iron. Take that into account. Move away again. Move nearer again. I'll definitely dig that. Notice it's where it is on the coil. It's so adverse to that bit of iron. This is why you need to there's a lot of technique concerning coils and how to use your coils in certain situations. And that just goes to prove it. Right, okay then, let's do the same with the Q30. Q30 test, coin there. Lovely. Raise the coil. Probably not as high as I got with the XTerra. Lump of iron is there. Good. Good. Let's bring them closer to each other. Voila. Lump of iron. Coin. It's a bit of a confusing one. Coin's still being picked up. Iron's still being ignored. It's just picking it up on the side of the coil. Let's put them right next to each other. Ooh. Okay. That says a lot, doesn't it? You've got the grunt in there. See, that's some nice information going on there. You've got the grunt in there, but you've also got the signal from the coin. That signal is not from the piece of iron. Oh, that sounds like... Yeah? That's nice. God, this is why I love this machine so much. There you go, ironing the corner back together again. Separate you over the iron. So I personally think that the Q30's probably got better separation there in that one little test. You know, it's obviously mineralisation and in the grounds, things are going to change, but that's why I love this machine so much. As mentioned, the ground is rocky. I can't get down any further than about 7 or 8 inches. So we'll do a depth test, a air test as well. And then that way we can kind of find like a mean average in the middle, looking at how it performs in the ground first. Right, so we're in at about 8 inches there. You can't really tell on the camera, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, at the 8-inch mark, maybe more 7, I don't know. Looks like 8 from where I am, but it doesn't look like it on the camera. Let's get some items in there. It's important to mention that this is a process with these two metal detectors against each other. Environmental factors are at play, that being a good one. The ground's really, really dry. It's really, really hot here at the moment, middle of summer. There's no moisture in there at all, which is going to have a big effect on conductivity. So if you're thinking of saying, my metal detector can go deeper than that, etc., etc., just be aware that the conditions out here are not good for metal detecting at the moment. Sensitivity is up full. Exclude ID is at about 40, I believe. Other than that, they're pretty similar. And there's clearly something there. The VDI is on a freak out. And I think that's because of the depth. You find with a lot of metal detectors that after a certain depth, the VDI gets a bit lossy. But there's clearly something there at that 8 inches. You wouldn't miss that. Swipe left, swipe right. No way, you've got that easy. Okay, let's try do the same with the XTerra. Right, let's go. Right, clearly something there. Nice target. Tight enough. VDI 70 something to 80. Yeah, I'll dig that all day long. Cool, cool, cool. So I feel that the Q30's got better separation, better with the way it works with iron in that test anyway. Again, out on the field is going to be a whole different ball game. But the XTerra has the better depth. We'll take the 8 inches and what signals we were given then, and then we'll do the air test and we can find out, as I said, a mean average between the two. Now, as far as I'm concerned, air tests are pretty much a complete waste of time. I don't understand why people still do them as a kind of, you know, a benchmark, if you will, in their videos. The reason that we're doing it here is because we're going to put it up aside what we already know in the ground. Okay, it's half a penny. Dead at about 11.5, 12. Gold ring. Just a little bit more, between 12 and 13. Good depth for a budget machine. Let's try the XTerra. Okay, coin, half penny again. Between 12 and 13, I'll give you the benefit of doubt and say 13. Gold ring. Between 14 and 15, the XTerra Pro has the better depth. I feel like the XTerra Pro is more stable. I feel that the Q30 is more stable on the beach. I think it's more stable than the XTerra Pro. So the roles are reversed there. The Q30 can get a bit chatty in certain situations, pylons, railway lines. So conclusion then, this is the better machine. Exactly the same price. Q30 came out 3 years ago, don't forget. So let's give it that. The XTerra Pro has only just come out. Although this has better separation, it has slightly less depth. And then you've got all the other options, and the headphones are better in the Minelab brand, and you've got those changeable frequencies, you know. But God, this came close. For a machine that's 3 years old, the XTerra Pro is an upgrade, absolutely. But still to this day, this is still so potent. So well done, Quest. You did manage to keep up with the big boys as far as I'm concerned. Long may you keep that vision and carry on down the road of ingenuity and being quite a budget conscious company as well. Let's just hope and pray that they just continue to build on that whole philosophy. Anyway, thank you for watching, my friends. Hope this helped in some way, and I shall see you in the next video.